packs the house, no?
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we are.
Fusion packs the house. I don't know. I mean, I guess it couldn't do any worse than straight ahead jazz, you know.
I mean, you know, it seems to be, you know, and people seem to be in it. They're not bored or whatever happens when, you know, people, you know.
Well, I think anytime you put like electric bass and electric guitar, and you have like kind of a backbeat and make it funky, I mean, you're going to broaden your audience a little bit from just the straight ahead, tingling straight ahead jazz stuff, you know, which we all love, but it might have a slightly broader appeal, yeah.
You know, you've got like a you know, bigger variety of grooves, I think, to work with too.
That's true.
You know, it doesn't have to be that way, but it winds up being that way.
You can actually take some of the same grooves and just kind of electrify them, just bump them up a little bit, you know. So there's definitely a crossover, you know, where some of the material's the same, you know, just approached differently.
Yeah. So no fun is bad. How did that come to fruition?
Well, you know, I was going to call it Matt King's Fusion Band. I was like, boring. So I like to play around with words, and I started thinking, how can you know, anagrams where you rearrange the letters and you get new words. And believe it or not, I couldn't think of anything, so I went to like this anagram.com.
Did you really?
Yeah, there's a site, anagrams.com. It'll generate it. So if you type in Phil King, it'll come up with all sorts of stuff for Phil King, like hundreds of things, everything possible combination. So I think that was one of them. It was either No Fun Is Bad or something like that, and I rearranged the words, and and I thought that's kind of cute.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you got the name. I mean, what came first? The concept, the tunes, what?
Man, it's funny. I've actually wrote some of these tunes, I'm going to say 20 years ago, or maybe more, like fresh out of college. And as you know, I went to a college where it was straight ahead jazz.
Sure do.
I mean, yeah, because you went there, and there were some guys playing, you know, like electric stuff and funk there, but not so much. That was kind of frowned upon at the time. You know, we were all jazz snobs, bebop Nazis, and whatever.
Right.
And but it's funny. My first exposure to jazz kind of was through fusion. It was like Chick Corea's electric stuff. It was Herbie's electric stuff. It was even Weather Report. I mean, I had Heavy Weather very early on, and I consider that kind of be like the kind of blue of fusion. You know, I mean, it's like such a seminal, important record, and such a high watermark in terms of how well that music can be played and composed, and the interaction and the whole concept was just unbelievable. So, I mean, I was listening to that stuff, and then I got into straight ahead.
Right.
And then I made the connection between the improvisation in the fusion and the improvisation that was in traditional jazz, straight ahead jazz. So I did that for several years. And then, I don't know, every now and then I would write a tune and go, you know what? This isn't really like a straight ahead jazz tune, but it's kind of a cool tune. I just put it in a shelf, and it stayed in like a file for like 20 years.
Right.
So and every now and then I just crank out a tune like that. So I built up a little body of work of stuff that were kind of like fusion tunes.
Right.
And I thought, you know, I should maybe play this stuff live sometime.
Right.
So that's how we ended up here. You know?
How'd you meet the guys in the band?
Well, Josh Dion and Brian Colleen, the drummer and bass player, I met playing with Chuck Loeb, who's a guy who's covered the straight ahead thing with Stan Getz, and then he moved into smooth jazz. He was kind of like an early person to do that.
Right.
And fusion, and he did some fusion records actually, some stuff that really wasn't smooth jazz, stuff that was more aggressive, and, a lot more improv and that kind of thing. So he's, you know, I met those guys through Chuck's band. And Oz, I actually heard about through Josh and Brian. They said, oh, you got to go see Oz Noy at Bitter End sometime. So I did. And Oz actually kind of inspired me to take a project like this and like do it live and actually, you know, expose this music, play it out. Because it's like, he does it every Monday at the Bitter End. And I'm going down, it's like, you know, people are here, they're digging it. Maybe I should do this. I got the tunes, I got the music, you know? I just decided to kind of put the band around the repertoire. And actually, I wasn't doing that much work with Chuck Loeb, and I really enjoyed playing with Josh and Brian, so it was also an excuse to like get them into another project and have a chance to play with them. And Oz is a new addition to this group. We were using another guitarist who's great, David Phelps, but we're trying Oz out tonight, and I think it's working out great.
What's strong about him? What do you like about him?
Well, he has a very kind of individual approach. I mean, I can hear a lot of great modern guitarists in him. John Scofield and Bill Frisell come to mind. But like you hear those guys, but he kind of has his own thing. You know, he's kind of crafting his own. And I like him because he can play rock and funk, but he can play like straight ahead bebop too. But he does it kind of with that distorted attitude guitar that Scofield has. And he's actually an amazing composer. And actually, want to do one of his tunes next set. But I just wanted to include him because actually, like I said, he'd been an inspiration for me, kind of a kick in the butt to actually go out and do this kind of thing.
Okay. What do you like about Josh?
Well, I mean, just incredible energy, incredible positive attitude. He can play any style. He's very flexible. He remembers everything. I mean, if you rehearse a tune with him once, he'll remember it 2 years later when you play it with him. Just like kind of like photographic memory.
Okay, yeah.
A great soloist, really strong soloist, a lot of colors, ideas. Just a great all-around player, great energy.
Okay, and the bassist?
Brian Franklin. Again, great energy and also very stylistically diverse. There's other bass players who can play like faster and do maybe more technically, but not a lot bit more technically, but he doesn't approach the bass like a guitar player, like some like star bass soloists do, electric bass players do. He really plays the bass. He plays the low notes. He's a great support. He locks incredibly well with Josh.
There is a bit of an organic thing happening.
Yeah, there's a bit of an plus because he plays in Josh's band.
Okay.
And then we've had the experience of playing with Chuck Lowe.
For quite a while.
So as a rhythm section, we've had some road time together and, and even some recording time. So there's that lock, and I love Brian's whole thing. He's got big ears. He's another guy. He learns something once, he basically knows it. Extremely flexible stylistically. I mean, it's incredible for both of those guys, Josh and Brian, how young they are in their mid-20s. The musical knowledge they have of the history, not just of jazz, but of rock and pop and folk and all this stuff. They're just coming with a whole encyclopedia of knowledge with them. So
great. You're going to make a record.
I hope to record this stuff sometime before long. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to get my other record out first.
This is also true. Yeah. Well, listen, have a good time.
Thank you, Phil.
Good luck with whatever comes of it, and please do make something come of it.
Oh man, I will.
And we'll try to see what
financial
we can do.
backing.
There you go.
Looking
Right.
for sponsors.
We'll see what we can do about spreading the word and get some publicity around.
Yeah.
Getting this stuff out as well onto the internet. And get
Absolutely.
Get some viral stuff happening.
The internet's a good thing.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Phil.
That was Matt King. No fun is bad.
Ask for us by name.
That's right. See them wherever they're appearing near you. Take it easy.